This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon and welcome to WKYT's News at Noon, Kentucky's #1 midday news. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. We're tracking a developing story.
The suspect in the weekend bombings in New York City and New Jersey has been arrested after a shootout with police.
These developments happening within the last hour. Brooke Silva Braga is in New York now with the latest on the investigation. It's our top story at noon.
Authorities say bombing suspect Ahmad Khan Rahami is in custody after shooting a police officer in Linden, New Jersey. Sources tell CBS News the naturalized U.S. citizen from Afghanistan was seen in surveillance video from Saturday's bombing in the Chelsea section of Manhattan.
We are extremely fortunate and grateful that nobody was killed.
The search for Rahami comes after a robot detonated a bomb in a trash can overnight in Elizabeth. It was one of 5 devices found near a train station.
The speculation from the Elizabeth Police Department is that they were not timed to go off, and so therefore, whether they were being investigated or followed, that they were disposed of in a garbage can in a very hasty manner.
Police also took 5 people into custody during a traffic stop in Brooklyn last night in connection to the explosion here in Chelsea. The FBI combed the Manhattan neighborhood collecting evidence Monday. Surveillance video shows people running for cover. After the pressure cooker bomb exploded Saturday night, 29 people were hurt. A second pressure cooker bomb was found 4 blocks away but did not explode. Earlier on Saturday, a pipe bomb detonated in the Jersey Shore town of Seaside Park before a charity run to benefit Marines and sailors. No one was hurt in that attack. Authorities say Rahami is a suspect in both the Jersey Shore and Chelsea bombings. Brooke Silva Braga for CBS News, Chelsea, New York.
None of the people injured in the Chelsea explosion was seriously hurt. And back locally, he was shot while on the job. And today, we're learning more about a Lexington gas station clerk who continues to fight for his life.
Charles Moore's family says the Marine Corps veteran was in critical condition after being shot several times Saturday night inside the Marathon on Lansdowne Drive. Police are still looking for 3 suspects. WKYT's Hillary Thornton has more now on that investigation. Hillary?
We are learning more about the Marathon gas station clerk who was shot here Saturday night, and we are also hoping to learn some new details into the investigation. The new information about the victim coming from a fundraising page set up for Charles Moore, known by many as Chuck. Police say Moore was shot several times during the attempted robbery at this Marathon gas station on Lansdowne Drive. He was rushed to the University of Kentucky Hospital, where he is stable but in critical condition. On the fundraising page set up by family, Moore's daughter-in-law explains that he is a veteran who proudly served in the Marines. The page also describing the injured clerk as a dog lover who has fostered several rescue dogs over the last decade. According to the post, Moore is making progress but has a long road ahead. While he continues to recover, police continue their search for those responsible. Investigators say they are looking for 3 men, 2 who went into that Marathon gas station when Moore was shot, and a 3rd man who waited outside with their getaway car. Police think those same 3 men are also behind a robbery that happened less than an hour earlier at the Shell station at Lexington Green. We have been in contact with Lexington police, who say they could be releasing some surveillance pictures of the suspects later today. In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Hillary, thank you. And police do not believe the early morning robbery at the Speedway on Meadow Lane is connected. Employees at a Central Kentucky store were forced into a freezer during a robbery. It happened early Sunday morning at Little Caesars Pizza on Versailles Road in Frankfort. Police say 2 gunmen wearing ski masks forced the employees to the ground and made one of them open the safe. The men then forced the workers into the walk-in freezer. Police say the gunmen stole cash and an employee's cell phone, which was found in a nearby neighborhood. We now know the name of the young man who died this morning after a motorcycle crash in Lexington. Police say David Chereshnia crashed about 7 this morning on DeLong Road off Tates Creek Road in southern Fayette County. There were quite a few crashes throughout the morning as fog coated the area. And as WKYT's Mike Beyer reports, police say they do suspect that fog was a factor in this morning's deadly crash.
Police tell me a doctor on his way to work saw the motorcyclist down on the side of the road and tried to save his life, but was unable to. The Fayette County coroner confirms the crash victim is 21-year-old David Chereshnya. The coroner says Chereshnya wasn't wearing a helmet and that he died from internal head injuries. The deadly motorcycle crash happened shortly before 7 this morning, right in front of Keshland Kennel. Police tell us the motorcyclist was driving on DeLong Road away from Tates Creek Road when he lost control and crashed into a wooden fence. Officers tell us the doctor, who was on his way to work, did everything he could to keep the young man alive, but that his injuries were too serious.
A doctor from UK Med had stopped by, performed first aid at the scene. He was unable to get the victim to respond and passed away here on the road.
Police tell me they've seen many wrecks out here as DeLong Road is very narrow and curvy. As for this morning's fatal crash, police believe it's weather related as it was very foggy at the time. In Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you. DeLong Road was shut down during the crash but has since reopened. New on WKYT at noon, deputies are investigating a crash involving a Laurel County school bus. That crash happened about 8 this morning on Kentucky 1394 at Ferris Jones Road. Deputies say a car pulled in front of the bus, which was full of children. Luckily, no one was injured.
Thursday might be the first day of autumn, but there is no fall feeling in the air just yet. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live in our First Alert Weather Center with an early look at the forecast.
Yes, some of us are still dealing with some of that cloud cover laying around, and what that is basically that fog lifting. We'll start to get that mixing going on, and you'll start to see that spread out and actually become mostly sunny later on this afternoon for many locations. It's not all, but I'd say east, southeastern Kentucky, you guys might be swamped in with that cloud cover for quite some time, but that is the look outside, holding on to mostly dry conditions. I don't see any chance of rain for today. You could get a little mist because of some of those low-lying clouds, but other than that, we're looking pretty good. We're sitting there around 80 degrees. It all depends on where you are. If you have some sunshine like Frankfort, you're at 80 degrees. Go up toward Covington, 80 degrees. But then you work your way southbound where we've had that thick cloud deck with that fog lifting. We're 71 now in London, and that's going to be the case as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon. So it will become mostly sunny for many areas, but some areas still dealing with those clouds as of right now. Now we'll take off toward the evening hours. I don't see any problems. The focus of the forecast is basically just the good looking end of summer. I mean, there's really not much to talk about in terms of rain. But temperatures, that's going to be the main story, and I'll show you how high we go, closing in on 90 degrees in a couple of days. That's coming up.
Micah, thank you. Tomorrow, the U.S. Attorney General will visit Central Kentucky as part of National Heroin Epidemic Awareness Week. Her first stop will be Madison Central High School. So far this year, Madison County has seen more than 30 drug overdose deaths. A Richmond mother who lost her son to a heroin overdose in January is using a chilling tool, hoping addicts realize their addiction affects more than just themselves.
911, what's your emergency?
I need somebody at my apartment. My son is overdosed.
My story is not any different than your story. This could be your story.
Tonight at 6 on WKYT, why this mother plays the 911 tape of her finding her son overdosed any chance she can get.
New at noon from Frankfort, Governor Matt Bevin's spokeswoman is resigning to take a position with the Donald Trump campaign. Jessica Ditto will become the Deputy Communications Director for the Republican presidential nominee. She'll be working in New York City with Jason Miller, Trump's senior communications advisor, who consulted for Bevin's 2015 campaign for governor.
Well, anyone wanting to get an early start fighting the flu will soon be able to do that. Starting this Wednesday, the Lexington-Fayette County Health Department will be offering flu shots from 9 to 3 Monday through Thursday. No appointment is necessary. Each flu shot costs $30. And the Health Department has announced that it will be giving free flu shots October 20th. That annual event will be from 4 to 7 at Consolidated Baptist Church on Russell Cave Road and at Southland Christian Church on Richmond Road. Bluegrass Hospitality has announced that it's closing the Sal's Chop House and Meats Barbecue Market in Lansdowne Shops on Tates Creek Road. They say they're closing the locations to double the size of Malone's Banquets facility. Sal's and Meats Barbecue Market will officially close Sunday. The new expanded space is scheduled to open in November. Well, Garth Elementary is celebrating an impressive milestone this week as the school turns 90 years old.
It's a big day today. Students and staff mark the occasion by dressing up as 90-year-olds, sporting wrinkles and canes, powdered hair, and walkers. The staff tells us that while working in a 90-year-old building has its own set of challenges, they wouldn't trade the history of their building for anything.
We moved here when my daughter was in kindergarten. She's a junior in college now. We celebrated 75 when she was a kindergartner, and now my youngest is a 5th grader, and this is his last year here. And it's just amazing the love that people have for this building and this area. It's wonderful.
And the fun will continue tomorrow with a school-wide 90th birthday party. The teachers tell us there will be cupcakes for everybody. Looks like they had fun today.
Yeah, I love their view of older age.
Right. Reports of creepy clowns are happening in some southern states, and now there's a report of a sighting in Kentucky in Laurel County. We'll have more on that coming up on WKYT News at noon. Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. This next story may sound familiar. There's been a wave of creepy clown sightings across the southern U.S., and now apparently it's creeping into Kentucky.
Now, that latest sighting comes from Laurel County. We also have received reports from clown sightings in Pulaski County. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is tracking the story and has more now from London.
Well, the most recent clown sighting, or at least the report of this clown sighting, happened here on Kentucky 192 in London near the intersection of 80, which is just behind me. There is a road sign just down here behind me, and the clown was standing just a few feet from the roadway, and one of our viewers actually took a picture of this clown. You can take a look at the picture right here and see for yourself. Now, this woman who took this picture claims this, of course, was all very legitimate, and she says she was very, very frightened by this sight here, taken just before 10 o'clock last night. And we're still trying to look into this, and we're still trying to figure out exactly what may be going on with this. Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
And we'll be speaking with police on this matter later today.
And we'll have more for you later today on WKYT News as we look into that. Well, millions of drivers across the South may be spending a little bit more at the gas pump this coming month. It's due to a partial leak in an East Coast pipeline. Part of the Colonial Pipeline, which runs from Houston to New York, has been closed since September 9th. Officials say there is a leak in the pipe near Birmingham, Alabama. So people in the Carolinas, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, and Tennessee are expected to see the biggest price increases. They're also saying that gas shortages are possible. Kentucky was not on the list of expected price increases. The pipeline's operator said full service will be restored by next week. The governor of Florida says Miami's Wynwood Arts District is no longer considered an active Zika transmission zone. That neighborhood was the first place in the U.S., in the mainland anyway, to have mosquitoes transmitting the virus to people. Governor Rick Scott says it has now been 45 days since the last Zika infection there. Scott says aggressive mosquito control and cooperation from residents and businesses that drained standing water has helped stop the Zika spread. The Kentucky Blood Center is giving a lucky donor keys to a brand new Toyota truck.
Anyone 18 and older who registered to give blood with Kentucky Blood Center from June 1st through August 31st was automatically entered into that drawing. And the lucky winner, Larry Taylor, who says he's been donating blood for more than 30 years.
All right, well, that dedication has paid off, it looks like, with that new truck. Looks good. Coming next, a man is in serious condition today after being shot overnight in Lexington.
WKYT's Lauren Miner is tracking the investigation, and we'll have more coming up when our midday news continues at 12:30.
Some pesky clouds out there for some of us, and what it's doing is it's holding temperatures down big time in those spots, but other spots, it's warming up very rapidly. It's not fall yet. Summer's still holding tight. I'll show you those temperatures coming up.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Boy, those clouds just do not want to separate, and they will once we get deep into the afternoon, but you got to get that heating going on. You got to get the mixing going on, and we're just not getting it just yet. Temperatures are actually where the clouds are located in the 70s. 71 right now in London. Go down into Corbin, East Bernstadt, Jackson, Prestonsburg at 70 degrees at this moment, but then you head toward Frankfurt where we really don't have any clouds, off toward E-Town where it's virtually clear. And we're sitting there with bright blue skies and temperatures there in the low to mid 80s. So it's really heating up where we're seeing sunshine. Lexington, we're not seeing that just yet. Neither are we in Jackson and Moorhead. But we'll start to see the clouds separate. Like I said, it'll take a little bit of time. Rest of the afternoon, we're going to stay dry. That front's moved on through. And a low pressure system, when it pushes on through, these high pressure systems follow those. So once the ugly weather moves on, here comes the nice weather. It swings on in here, and the wind's coming in from the north and northwest. It's not going to bring us cool air because here's the setup, okay? Even though you get the winds out of the north, typically, in most people's minds, and virtually everybody's minds, when you get northerly winds, that's cooler, drier air. When you get southerly winds, it's the exact opposite. You get warm, moist air. It's just not fun. But on this case, in this setup, this scenario, you have warm air to the north. So any of those northerly winds is still bringing in warm air. It's not bringing in any colder air. So we're going to see temperatures actually still well above average. But the thing about this is we're going to stay dry and bring in some drier air. So the humidity is going to work its way down in throughout the rest of the day, off into the next 24 hours. So it'll actually feel all right. Steamy, though, as we see those temperatures jump to the mid to upper 80s, which is well above average, average being mid to upper 70s. So it should feel really nice, but it actually doesn't with the drying out in the next several days. Warm, though, as that first day of fall rolls around here on Thursday, coming up at 10:21 a.m. Just tweet it to me, Mike Harris, WX, there on Twitter. This is in the Woods Bend area. They're in Morgan County, just to the west of West Liberty. That is from Regina Thomas. Really good-looking shot this past Sunday, which was yesterday. 7-day forecast. The thing that sticks out like a sore thumb are all the icons showing no rain. The only chance we have is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that's at 20%, and that's about it, guys. This is going to be one of those weeks. Sprinklers need to be going each evening because the yard's just, they're not going to get a free drink of water, I promise you.
Well. You know, but it's easy to enjoy.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
all right.
Really
we'll like that sunshine. Thank you, Micah. We're coming back in a moment. A former Cat comes up big in the NFL.
And who will come up first on the Wildcat depth chart? Dave Baker has sports next.
And let's check stocks as we head to break this afternoon. The market indicators up at midday.
He threw a pick on the first series and then went to the hospital to have his back checked out. Despite that, Drew Barker still listed as #1 on the depth chart as the Cats get set to take on South Carolina Saturday. That despite the fact that his backup, Steven Johnson, completed 17 of 22 passes for 310 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He also ran the ball 51 yards. A short time ago, Mark Stoops, though, sounding most uncertain on this week's plan.
We'll see how the week goes on. I'm in no position to talk about that right now. He had an MRI. He's going to consult with our doctors and some specialists, and we'll get to the bottom of it and see what's best for him.
Stoops indicating that Barker had some lingering back problems before the injury on Saturday. Kentucky, this is a huge, huge game. Cannot overstate it. Looking to make it 2 wins in a row. South Carolina visits Commonwealth on Saturday. 7:30 kickoff on the SEC Network. The Wildcats have won 2 of 3 over the Gamecocks under Mark Stoops. This will be the first time they take on South Carolina with new head coach Will Muschamp. Former Wildcat Jacob Tamme finding the end zone in week 2. Falcons trailing the Raiders by 1 in the third. Matt Flynn, who seemingly threw for about 1 billion yards yesterday, finds Tamme over the middle. Look at the old guy get into the end zone for the go-ahead score. Tamme, 5 catches, 75 yards in the Falcons' 35-28 win. And UK women's soccer wearing yellow and hosting Alabama last night, down 1-0 in the second period. Tide whistled for a handball in the box. As Barb knows, that is a no-no. Katie Keene calmly strikes, gets the PK home to make it 1-1. But after 2 overtimes, Kentucky had some great chances in the OT, could not capitalize, and they play Alabama to a 1-1 draw. So coming up a bit later today, much more on the quarterback situation at UK. Barker still listed as #1, but Mark Stoops sounding much less certain about whether or not his man would play or whether it'll be Steven Johnson. We'll talk about that and much more coming up throughout the day, guys. But for now, that's a look at sports.
Okay,
Monday.
interesting day ahead. Thank you, Buzz.
And there's more to come in our next half hour of WKYT News at Noon.
A man has been arrested in connection to the bombs that went off in New York and New Jersey. We'll have more on that coming up. Plus,
police are still looking for the suspect wanted in the overnight shooting. We spoke with a few neighbors who told us what they saw.
Tomorrow night's Mega Millions jackpot is $15 million, and Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot is $40 million.